Ding, 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 ding. Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Hopefully you're having a great Friday. Today is May 29th, the last weekend of May as we get ready for the, the unofficial kickoff of summer was actually last weekend of a Memorial Day weekend. But you can see I am not in my studio. I am on the road in South Baltimore. Tomorrow is the third and final Vision Walk fundraiser for the Foundation Fighting Blindness. That is tomorrow here in the Baltimore area, which I'm here to host. But I'm staying at the Courtyard by Marriott, the part of Baltimore where the event is. And I'm about 3/4 of a mile from the park, but I'm out on the outside balcony. I'm in the courtyard of Courtyard by Marriott. Yeah, and Doc Val is on the road. Where are you, Doc Val?
So I'm in a Marriott too, but I'm not in the courtyard. So I'm down in San Diego in the Gaslamp District. This is the first time I've ever been in this area. My mom doesn't even know I'm here. Well, now she does.
Now she does.
Now she does. I just decided to work remotely and have a mini reunion with one of my bestest friends since 1989. So.
Right on, right on. Well, that should be a lot of fun. And, of course, the third wheel of today's show, he's hunkering down in Las Vegas, Mr. John JPEG Styles. Johnny, what's going on there in Vegas, sir?
Well, because I'm in Las Vegas, I don't need to go anywhere else.
If you go anywhere.
I don't want to go anywhere else. I'm staying right here. This is the good time of the year, where it hasn't gotten too hot yet, but it's hot enough so that you can enjoy yourself and still step outside into the sunlight during the day.
And it's
your electric bills start going up.
By the way,
graduation.
Well, when we get into it, I had talked to Aaron before the show about a coincidence about today's show that we'll talk about later. So until then, I'll turn it back to the two stars.
Shine
what
bright.
a producer he is. He even cut himself off as he dropped off. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. We have three channels on Facebook, 3 on YouTube, and, of course, on Sunday, dbtv.tv, 8 a.m., you'll see the replay of Kiwanis Connects there as well. Listen, we have our usual cast of of segments. We have Melissa Atwell joining us with her Mental Health Moments segment. And also, I believe Val has some exciting news regarding a new Kiwanis Club there that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Of course, we have Val's Wow Moments. And even though I'm on the road, ladies and germs, I will not go far without some bad dad jokes to make our day. As a matter of fact, I am wearing I wore this today around town here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm getting a lot of comments on my new shirt. That's right. I tell dad jokes periodically, and it's gotten quite a few chuckles as I'm walking around Baltimore. So we make an impact on any way that we can. So, Doc Val, last week we had Laura Halcom on from the Sisterhood Project. And, of course, you made the obvious connection with the International Convention in Manila. And, of course, the Philippines is an area that Laura expressly is focusing on helping the folks out there with the period packs and education. She promised us some information that we could share. As much as we would like the products and stuff to go direct to Manila and the contacts out there, with the short turnaround, I think we're going to end up probably just, it appears, and correct me if I'm wrong, sending all the stuff to Laura. She'll have her people pack the stuff on behalf of the Kiwanians who donate. Is that right?
That's right. And so that is one way of being able to do it. But I've also been in contact with a couple of the local clubs. So if you do bring anything, there are 2 orphanages that have girls from the age of 12 to 17 in them. And so we know that we can make the direct delivery of just the products. But I think it would be much more efficient if we actually send everything to Laura. Because with her connections, we know that it's a whole package deal. But I would say that if you've got space in your luggage, put something in there because you're going to bring back Chotskis. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee you're going to come to my booth and there's going to be Chotskis. So,
there you go.
Absolutely. And that's one of the,
No, go ahead.
I didn't want to talk over you. And it's like, it's just like, as we're going through all this, one of the things I realized is, we've talked with a lot of the trustee candidates. We've talked with different members of Kiwanis International, but we haven't talked about one of the main things that we're there for in Manila when we get there. So we wanted to spend some time today talking about some of the issues, the amendments that are on tap. And so I'm hoping that people will comment in and jump in if they have an opinion. There are a couple of hot issues that keep coming up over and over again. And so I'm not sure, Aaron, how you're feeling about how to approach today.
Well, first of all, what I'd like to do, John, you have the link available for the Amazon wish list for the Sisterhood Project. If you could drag that on the crawl there. And also, John, if you could maybe drop that in the chat room for Facebook as well, that would be very helpful. But below you see there is the Amazon link, and this is direct to the Sisterhood Project where you can just go online, make your purchases. It'll be shipped direct to Laura and the team that she already has assembled that puts the packs together. If you choose to do it that way versus the easier way, which if you just put a box of tampons or supplies in your luggage, take them with you, and Val already has connections. So we've got the best of both sides here working to really grow this project. Now, at the same time, while we're talking about this, John, I'll ask you to pop in there to share your coinkadinkly news of what we were talking about before we went on the air regarding period packs and such. So take it away.
Okay, so as everyone in the world knows, that one of the programs that we have here on WWDB TV is called The Gift of Giving. Mm-hmm. And every week we have the head of a local nonprofit here in Southern Nevada to highlight what they're doing and help get the word out about their efforts. So yesterday, as a matter of fact, we had two young ladies, local high school girls who had started a nonprofit last year. And the goal of the nonprofit was to provide feminine products for young girls who were financially incapable of buying their own. And also, they are going around doing educational things, talking to the young people about menstrual and the cycles and how, it's not a stigma, it's a natural thing, and basically educating not only the young ladies, but the young men as well. And so it was just, crazy coincidence that I got the email last night about what we were doing here today. So I'll get with you later, Val, and I'll get some contact info from you. And these girls have already a worldwide and a countrywide, nationwide network of people that are helping them throughout the world. So I just, I was telling Aaron earlier, restores my faith in the young people of today. So
absolutely amazing. What perfect timing.
Yeah.
So
I'd also suggested that John take that information and send it to Laura as well, so that these two organizations can connect as well and really, really explode it even more so for both sides.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. John, when you did that, it just gave me it's another one of those goosebump moments, because this is something that Kiwanis can help highlight in every community. There is not one community in the world that does not have to deal with menstrual cycles and periods. I mean, it's just like, okay. And, and this is one of those topics that we needed to carry over because it is huge. It's absolutely
no one wants to talk about it.
Oh, we do.
And so, pardon me?
Oh, we do.
Well, we do now. But I'm saying, and that's one of the reasons, and that's why I think these young ladies are very brave to pick this subject and to really get out there and push the information. So I really commend them. I'm just blown away at some of the young people here today.
And the irony with something like this, as much as it's a rather big problem, it's relatively simple to impact. I mean, when you just think about, like, what did Laura say? $2.16 is what the cost per package that she puts together to send out, $2.16. Imagine if you didn't go get your Starbucks a couple of times in the week and put that money towards period supplies, how many gals can be affected. So it's an easy way to help make an impact on something that's so epidemic.
Okay, let me jump in there for a second. $2.15, even a week. If you spent that a week, you can still get your Starbucks. So you don't have to trade your Starbucks. I mean, come on, $2. I mean, I got probably 10 times that in my little change bucket. So
probably sitting in your sofa couches too, and your sofa cushions.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
So don't be so cheap. Just I mean, hey.
Absolutely.
$2.15.
I'm glad you have it on the crawl, but if you also have Laura's direct, so that people can make gifts of that $2.15 a week. It's just like sometimes I feel like I'm going. This is so easy. It really, really is.
Let me tell you what surprised me during the interview was how many young girls, young women, miss school because of this, and because of the situation and not being able to afford this, and some of the things that they were talking about that young women use, whether it's socks or towels or rags or whatever. I mean, it's heartbreaking,
yes.
and it's such a. I mean, it's such a simple fix. So anyway, never mind. I'm down on my soapbox.
No. But again, you're 100% right. It is very. It's very simple to make an impact on. Let's put it that way. I don't want to say it's simple to fix because there's a lot of logistics in the third world countries to make it happen for sure. But when you consider that for $2.16, the impact that can be made to one individual person for that $2, that's where the difference is made. And it's relatively simple to do that. We don't necessarily, the mountains the most that have to be moved to make this happen is probably because of the connections and the logistics that need to happen to get the products where they need to be. That's probably the most difficult thing. But the buying of the products, responding to a wish list of supplies so the Sisterhood Project can send out the girls that were on that show yesterday. I mean, it's, it is what it is. It's relatively a small, easy gesture to make a big impact.
But that's sorry. That's why we Kiwanis, because our communities need very simple things, simple things, and they make a huge impact. And so this show, I think, is so critical in being able to make that connection to being able to just do the start. Because once you get into it and you're helping people like Laura, you're helping people like the girls,
But here's I mean, I'm thinking back to a little over a year ago, and one of the solutions that a politician had come up with was providing these products to young girls in the school restrooms for free. And look at the flack that he got because of that. And it's just like, what?
Yep.
Anyway, never mind. No politics, no religion.
John, I put Laura's email address in the chat, and I'm putting the link to the Sisterhood Project Facebook page because there are QR codes on there that people can scan, also to the Amazon list as well as direct donation. So all that information.
The first one is, I'm sorry, the first one is what, Aaron?
Her email, the sisterhoodproject@gmail.com. It's in the private chat room, so you can copy it in there. And then the link to
the Sisterhood Project. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't see that one. All I saw was the YouTube one. Sorry.
No, that's all right. And then there's a link in there for the Sisterhood Project Facebook page that people can go to as well. Good morning, Bob Larson. Thank you for tuning in, as always. All right, we come back on the other side. It's time for our first break, which means we're going to start talking about the all-important amendments that are going to be on the floor for discussion in Manila and some of the hot topics. So if you have your input, Dr. Bob, as I'm sure you do and many others out there, please feel free to put them in the chat room. Let us know your thoughts and opinions. You're watching Kiwanis Connects. More with Doc Val myself, and John, if we allow him, right after this. Imagine being able to golf no matter the weather or time of day. Well, now you can at Back 9 Great Bridge in Chesapeake. Grab your clubs and swing by for the next level of golf. Back 9 is open 24/7, play on your own schedule, get pro-level swing data, and much more. Try St. Andrews, then Pebble Beach to test your skills. It's also a great way to start playing golf without the distractions, pressure, or cost of playing 18 holes outside. Back 9 offers individual and corporate memberships to fit your needs. Back 9 is now open at 500 South Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Visit our website for more information. Level up your game without stepping on the course with Back 9. Some estimates say that someone in the United States has a stroke every 40 seconds. Rocky, please share with us your experience.
Aaron, as we all think we are invincible, after playing baseball for 12 years and never missing a game, I had a stroke while I was umpiring. It put a new perspective on life for me. No more golf, bowling, dancing, or most importantly, playing catch with my grandchildren. Please listen to your own body warnings. Pay attention and watch for your family and your friends. Watch for those warning signs. You are not invincible.
Derek, what are some of the symptoms and signs we should be aware of?
The simple rules to remember: the be fast rule. Balance, beware of loss of balance. Eyes, check for vision loss. Face, check if one arm is weak or numb. Speech, listen for slurred speech. Time, call 911 immediately if there's treatment available if it's within 3 hours.
John, what are some of the resources that folks have available for them?
There are several stroke support groups available to stroke survivors and their caregivers. Many of the stroke support groups you can attend can be accessed on your computer via Zoom. The stroke groups we support are located at the bottom of the screen.
This message was proudly brought to you by the following: the Kiwanis Club of Laguna Elk Grove, the Kiwanis Club of Oakland, and the Kiwanis Club of Palo Alto.
Sometimes I'd like to smack old age right in the kisser. Ow!
I always get the best parking spot.
I think she needs a little more help.
Monday?
What I really need is a boyfriend that can drive at night.
I can make a fashion statement out of anything.
I will be fabulous.
I have a little crush on my pharmacist.
With Comfort Care at your side, you can live your best life possible. We know families can't be there 24/7, which is why we can help with as much or as little home care as you need. From medication reminders and meal prep to everyday chores and errands, so you can live in your own home on your terms.
I won't let aging stop me from being me.
Call Comfort Care now and let us create your personalized care plan and find the perfect caregiver match.
Can you show that number again? She was texting.
Together with Comfort Care, you can both live your best life possible.
All right. Welcome back to Kiwanis Connects, the show that today is all over the
You know, sometimes we have to be able to do this.
Okay, the technology gremlins have got us again, Aaron.
Uh-oh. So I'm gonna jump in while we get the
Jump in there, Val. Show them how it's done.
Because normally I'm the one with the gremlins. So today we are just having fun, and we wanted to make sure that we talked about the amendments that are happening at ICON, because that's the business and that's the reason why we're in Manila, in addition to the great fellowship and the opportunity to have Kiwanis education. The education conference is the most fun, and being in Asia Pacific, we have the opportunity to also be a part of their ASPAC convention. So they'll be running in tandem. And I don't think many people realize that. So it's an added bonus. There are a couple extra galas because the ASPAC folks, wow, they just do it big. And so there are 3 major amendments that we're going to be looking at when we're in Manila. And one of them is really, really straightforward in the process. And so if you have comments and thoughts processes on any of this, pipe in the comments. And John, you're at home today, right? So they can't call in. So, John, are you at home? It's like, I'm Val all by myself. And so one of the major amendments is looking at the size of the board. And there are, at this point in time, we're trying to reduce the number of international trustees on the executive committee because we've reduced the overall number of board members to fit the size of our organization. And so John's there in green screen. And so as we're going back and forth in what we do, but this one, I'm going to weigh in and say, this is something that has a long time coming, going down to 3 or 4 trustees on the executive board makes sense. It doesn't make sense to have basically half the board all be part of the executive committee. It defeats the purpose of the executive committee to be flexible. But if you have a different opinion, pipe on in, because our leadership needs to be lean and responsive. And so that's one of the amendments we'll be looking at. And I don't think that the discussion is going to go that long. But John, you're making a lot of fun sounds out there, so this must be in a boring.
Yeah, I have my own gremlins here today too. So I don't know, you lost me or I lost you, and I see Aaron's still not back. So he's probably out partying there in Baltimore. I've heard Baltimore is a rockin' city. So
Baltimore is Andy.
You know, it's interesting. Is any of the events at Icon going to be streamed live or anything, or is there any way that people that can't make it there be able to participate in any way?
Absolutely. And so the House of Delegates is all going to be streamed live. So you won't be able to be interactive, but you will be able to stream in live and be able to be a part of what's going on. And so I'm going to do a shout out because we've got a couple people in the gallery. So hi, Kathy out in Pennsylvania. I'm glad you're on board. And John, you're always welcome. And I was hoping you can be on the show at some point in time to talk about the advances that you've done with your stroke awareness. But the streaming live is going to be interesting because the time difference between domestic U.S. and Manila. So while our elections and our board meeting will be on Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. in Manila, it's actually Friday afternoon, evening where we are. So on the East Coast, it will be, 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday when the House of Delegates opens. And so for us, it will be 6 p.m. And so there are going to be a couple of watch parties happening around the country where people will be watching to see how the election turns out. You'll be able to see all the speeches. You'll be able to hear the debate on the floor. And so that should be really interesting.
And where can we go to find out how we log in or where the links are?
I know that from our delegation, we'll be doing it on a Facebook Live out of our CNH webpage.
Okay.
I was really hoping that we might be able to broadcast live through here, would have John Crawford connect with you, and we'd be able to do whatever their live feed is on our Kiwanis Connects page as well.
Well, okay. And what was the date again?
It's going to be the 26th of June, and it'll be 6 p.m. is when the House of the business session starts.
Okay, is that 6 p.m. West Coast or is that 6 p.m.
West Coast?
Philippines. Okay.
That's 6 p.m. West Coast because it's 9 a.m. on the 27th in the Philippines.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I've got the link, I can certainly stream it live to the Kiwanis Facebook page, and that's all I need is I just collect it and bang.
We'll make sure that you've got all the links, and we'll see if we can get Ben Hendricks or whomever to connect up with you so technology is smooth. Ben's been on the show before. Ben's been on the show before, so he's willing to. I'm sure we can figure this all out.
Well, John Brummer must be bored as hell today because he just put in the chat room that he could join us today if we'd like.
Ooh, so maybe in the last segment we'll do that, John. That sounds great.
I will, John. If you're listening, which I'm sure you are, I will send you a link and we'll get you to pop on here in a little bit. So stand by and stand back.
And I see our buddy Aaron is
he's trying. He's trying. Yeah, he'll get there.
Well, it's like
he's probably wandering around looking for a good spot. Hopped in his car, is going to drive down the road, find a place to jump in.
Absolutely.
Oh, there he is. There he is. He's walking around. Oh, now he's outside. Okay.
Oh, looking good.
So I'm reverting to the old phone. My computer said, "That's enough of this, bull. I'm done in the heat." And so I am on my phone trying to stay connected. Unfortunately, I can barely see my screen on the phone. So hopefully we'll get through this. But nonetheless, I am back. We're ready to rock and roll the rest of the way here. So.
Okay. So we had just talked initially about one of the amendments that it's a no-brainer. Well, in my mind, it's a no-brainer. And when Paul Palazzolo did one of the programs with Sue Peterson, they did this phenomenal Kiwanis show that in that meeting, they really talked in depth about some of these pieces, and it makes sense financially for our institution to reduce the number of executive committee members that we have. But the two other amendments that we're approaching are a little bit tougher. And so one of the big amendments we've talked about, I would say for the past 6 years, and it comes out of your district, Aaron.
Yeah, that's the online virtual connection, right?
Yeah, that's the online voting. And it always gets heated. And the very first time I remember it being really discussed, it was a 4-hour discussion. It was painful. And it was the lack of depth in the actual amendment, because people have a very visceral response to saying we can go virtual. So.
Well, virtual, though, is the way of the world now. I mean, I get from a Kiwanis standpoint, when it comes to representation, we want to make sure the representation is balanced. The downside is, or what's happening now, is we need to address how to stop the slide of convention attendees. I mean, I remember my very first international out in Vegas in late 1990s, shortly after Eileen and I joined, and there were tens of thousands of Kiwanians from all over the world. And now we're lucky if we get a couple of thousand. I think in Pittsburgh last year, I think the announced attendance was under 2,000 attendees in Pittsburgh. And
that's true.
That's horrible. And if it means more participation, more voices to be heard, especially when more and more programs that Kiwanis clubs are doing, i.e. the involvement with like the Sisterhood Project or whatever, are more international based, why are we not including more of them, more international based attendees, or when we're overseas, North America, being able to connect internationally or I'm sorry, electronically. I think it's just the way of the world. Businesses today do it. I think we're crazy for not addressing it if the system is properly designed.
And so I have a different take on it, but it's still the end product that you're talking about. Sure, I think that the old way of doing conventions and conferences is no more. And so it is really about the big name product. It's about being able to get certified in a way that benefits you both within Kiwanis and within your personal world. So, because when I look at Maxwell trainings, they happen over 3 or 4 days. People pay $3,400 to $6,000 for a really good seat in an amphitheater, and there are thousands of people that will fill these theaters where people are just talking at them for the most part, and you get to talk to the person to the right, the left, in front, and in back of you, and they're showing up. And so it's the value that's provided. And people will show up and do that and also still be able to do virtual. And to me, virtual is not inexpensive. Virtual is not free.
Right.
And so I think that unfortunately this amendment misses the boat on that part of the process, that if you are going to have this, it needs to be in real time. So no matter where the convention is, that's the timing. Right. There needs to be a full platform that moderates this. And so that means that you have to register for whatever the day rate is. That is the registration. Because, I feel like an old timer when I say, do you remember back in the day when you could register for 1 day?
Right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Even just registering for the Capital Decon in August out here, the full boat registration to include all the meals and everything works out cheaper than just registering at $60, and then you buy your meals that you want to attend. Even if you just go to 1 or 2 meals and then participate in the walk through Annapolis that they have, would cost you a lot more than the full boat registration. So the days of registering for just 1 day, like you said, they're becoming more and more difficult because of what's being put into the convention.
Absolutely. And it is, someone reminded me that just prior to me joining Kiwanis, there were 2 heavy hitter people that drew people to the convention. So there was Colin Powell.
Yep.
He was one of the speakers, and I can't remember who the other speaker was. If anybody wants to put it in the chat, who was another keynote speaker. It was a sold out convention.
Right.
And those are the kinds of things that I think are really important. And that's one of the reasons why I'm running for international trustee, because I believe that the trustees have a lot of influence with the board to really look forward and make the experience and the value of Kiwanis and how we gather more universal. So it's going to Disneyland, and everybody going to Anaheim, but it's not at the convention center. It's at Disney University. Disney University can handle 5,000 people. Pretty amazing.
Well,
I froze again.
I like what you said about looking forward. I mean, I think that's part of the situation with a lot of organizations today. Is the good news is we've been doing this for 50 years. The bad news is we've been doing this for 50 years. And it because we have to think of next year and the year after and the year after, because what works today may not work then. I mean, the virtual. I mean, this all comes down to we need to thank Dick Tracy, because he started all of this.
He's attacking me to the
radio. Yeah, come here, Tracy. And even as little as 4 or 5 years ago, this was still new, and now it's common. I mean, there's not a day goes by that I'm not doing some virtual meeting somewhere. So we need to start focusing on, what about tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow?
Or you make it so cost effective that there's no reason why you wouldn't want to show up.
Yeah.
And
well,
so
that's the other thing, especially right now with the economy the way it is. People can't afford to be traveling and spending a lot of money because they don't know what's going to happen, and that affects everything that we do every single day. So,
but there are ways around it, because I have looked on Facebook, and I'm outing some of my friends. As I look at the number of people that take cruises, it doesn't matter where in the world they're taking a cruise. They're on vacation. They have the best pictures. And when I look at all of that and I go, okay, so why wouldn't you do a voluntation? And it's like, so what's the difference? And prior to COVID and all these different changes, there used to be a component to conventions that the families felt like there were pre and post events that could happen.
Yeah.
So it was a worthwhile thing, but when I look at my husband and say, if you go with me, it's going to be an additional $5,000 and purely get there, hang out with me, watch me flit around, and then come home. That has no value to him. That has no value to family. But when we have all the pieces put together, and we have like Clody Simpello out of New York and Douglas Chadwick out of the Western region are putting together all of these outings and tours that go in addition to the convention, so that it's an experience. It makes it worthwhile. It makes you want to be there.
Well, the other thing is the human aspect of it is that virtual hugs aren't the same as a hug in person.
Yeah.
And study after study after study has shown that is essential to our well-being, is that human contact. So we got to figure out how to do that.
Absolutely. And, one of the things, as I've been working more in the public sector for events and conferences and art and wine festivals, one of the things that I have learned, it's all about sponsorships and partnerships.
Yeah.
And so it makes a huge difference. And I'm going to do a shout out to Charles Schwab's and Ramson, who sponsors a luncheon at our CNH mid-years. Without that corporate sponsor, that lunch would be unattainable. And I think with Kiwanis, us being in so many amazing places with the top corporations in the world being in each of our backyards, that we should have partnerships and sponsorships that they help defray the cost. It's when we go to Hawaii, it's Hawaiian Airlines is our major sponsor. And we should have group rates. We should have group rates going to Manila, so that if you buy your ticket within a 6-week window, you have $400 off because you're part of Kiwanis. But those things have been put to the wayside because we kept reducing our budget and our footprint. And so to be financially responsible in Kiwanis, we sometimes have to dedicate someone that is looking into just the partnerships. Having American Express be one of our major sponsors, because they have shown record profit this year.
Yeah.
So you have to be on stage, give them award. They give out millions of dollars in scholarships. That's what we're about. Tied in mission. Can you help defray our conference by $500,000? If they do that, that means that our registration becomes minimal.
Well, and and I hate to bring this up, but from a PR standpoint, it's the typical concept today is all the big businesses are bad, and they prove that to us on a daily basis. And this is a way of turning that around, is that without the regular consumer individual, you will not have a business. So you better damn well take care of us. So I want you all to write your checks to Kiwanis.
Yeah,
sorry.
I was like, write your checks to the Kiwanis International Foundation. And the
There you
Kiwanis
go.
National Children's Fund, it is a write-off to you, but it changes the world. And that's what we need to be doing. And we need to really focus in on our local children's funds and foundations in each one of our districts needs that support. I'm forever talking to the bigger companies because they have it in their budget. But if they're not asked, it's like membership. If you don't get asked, you don't join.
Right.
But the other piece of the puzzle is that I believe that people who go to conferences and conventions will go to conferences and conventions.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where it is. The core group, they're going to go. And it's amazing, but I was told that 53% of the people that are going to Manila from the domestic US and Western Canada are actually, this is their first convention ever.
Wow.
That's huge.
That's great.
That is absolutely huge. But I'm looking at our clock and I'm going, oh my goodness. So
I know time flies when you're having fun.
And we're having an amazing amount of time and fun. And so, Aaron, welcome back. And so that very last amendment I just wanted to brush on is about, people are saying that it's about semantics because we have our bylaws have the objects of Kiwanis in it. And one of it is to build a more aggressive presence and populace. And I am going to leave it at very simply. When you start playing with making bylaw changes, you totally change the fabric and the tenor of the organization. And for an organization that's been around since the early 1900s, to change our bylaws and the core mission of our organization is not something that we want to do. So I'm one of those people that says, yes, that's a word that we need to make sure people understand. Aggressive doesn't mean negative. Aggressive means many different things to different people. And as long as we're on the same page, great. Don't mess with bylaws unless you're really ready to change the fabric of the organization.
Yeah, changing bylaws for change's sake or changing anything just for change's sake is never really the right way to do anything. So I totally agree with that. I apologize for my disappearance, but my phone and my laptop started overheating and I couldn't do anything. So I'm now back upstairs in the cool comfort of my hotel room and having Eileen sit on the bed like this so she doesn't hear me screaming over everything. So anyway, all right. So what other amendments did you talk about? Was this all about the electronic connection amendment that we were talking about?
We had finished up on that of just going that there are ways to do it. And I think that as an organization, we need to tackle that. We need to put our big girl panties on and our big boy pants and just really take a look at how do we modernize in this. And so, Herman, you asked about the objects of Kiwanis or bylaws, and the objects of Kiwanis are in the bylaws. And so that is the part that when most people look at this, it's understanding that it's part of the core fabric, and it is on the very first page. Our objects of Kiwanis are in our club bylaws and our international bylaws.
Right on.
So
on that point, I have to ask a question because I'm actually the newest member of this whole thing. How many Kiwanians have actually read the bylaws or know what the hell they say or have even paid attention to it?
Most people don't until it's a conflict or they're trying to figure out why something such and such happened.
Right.
But,
why did this happen or why can't I do that? Well, it's against our bylaws. Oh, okay. Never mind.
And that's why it was every club that I start, I hand out the objects of Kiwanis, and it has the preamble and everything. I used to hand out plaques, can't afford to do that anymore. but being able to say that we all stand for these 6 objects of Kiwanis. And I love the Philippines as I loop back to going international, because when you become a Kiwani and a leader in Kiwanis in the Philippines, you have to be able to quote each one of the objects of Kiwanis. All 6 before you get your pens and your everything. And it's a big deal. And I just love it. And I've embarrassed myself because I don't readily know off the top of my head, but I strive to make sure that I have the synthesis on it. Before Philippines, I will have all 6 memorized.
So are you trying to tell us that you are a Kiwanis nerd?
I am a Kiwanis geek through and through.
All right, with that geekdom all set up and acknowledged, the first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem, so that's a good thing. All right, when we come back on the other side, we have Melissa Atwell's mental health moment, we have Val's well moment, and of course, bad dad jokes to end this really bad connection day for me. You're watching Kiwanis Connects. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, Aaron Phillips here from the Kiwanis Connect show. Are you trying to recruit for new members? Do you have a huge event coming up that maybe is your biggest fundraiser of the year? But you need to do something different to let people know that it's happening. The same old gives you the same old routine and results. Well, we've got an idea for you. The Kiwanis Connect show offers the opportunity to have customized commercials created to help your club get your message out. And you know what? One of the extra wonderful points of this opportunity is we provide it as a fundraising opportunity. For every $50 donation for the commercial goes to the Rose Float Kiwanis Club. That's right. The very same Rose Float that we see on television every New Year's that represents Kiwanis International will now be supported by these Kiwanis Connects commercials. So if you want more information and get involved, just drop us an email at KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com. That's KiwanisConnectsInfo@gmail.com. Get your 30, 60, or 90-second customized commercial today, and let's help the Rose Float Kiwanis Club continue to plant its seeds for success. Imagine being able to golf no matter the weather or time of day. Well, now you can at Back 9 Great Bridge in Chesapeake. Grab your clubs and swing by for the next level of golf. Back 9 is open 24/7, play on your own schedule, get pro-level swing data, and much more. Try St. Andrews, then Pebble Beach to test your skills. It's also a great way to start playing golf without the distractions, pressure, or cost of playing 18 holes outside. Back 9 offers individual and corporate memberships to fit your needs. Back 9 is now open at 500 South Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Visit our website for more information. Level up your game without stepping on the course with Back 9.
Woo-hoo.
All right, welcome back. We want to officially welcome Back 9 Great Bridge of Chesapeake. They are our newest advertiser here on Kiwanis Connects. And in light of that, there you go. Thank you, John. June 4th from 4 to 7 p.m. is the official grand opening ceremony down there at Back 9. John and Romany are also Kiwanis members of the Chesapeake Kiwanis Club. There'll be food, there'll be prizes, there'll be giveaways. Yours truly is scheduled to be the MC for this event. More importantly, though, the right side of your screen, you see the title Founding Memberships. There are 3 categories of memberships there. That there will only be 25 memberships available in each of those categories as founding members, meaning after June 4th, you see the prices there in the very first white box, set of boxes across the top. Those will go up to the regular prices immediately following June 4th. So 24/7 golf, no matter the weather. Are you kidding me? So check it out. Come on down. Say hi to me on the 4th from 4 to 7 p.m. at Back 9. Be a lot of fun and more to come with these folks. When you hear about something called core501.com, they are giving back to the community through events as well. Thank you, John. All right, let's get back to it. Before we get into some of the other remaining segments, Val, what other amendments and bylaw things that are going to be for discussion do you want to mention?
Well, there's only 3. Those core 3 are the huge ones that we're needing to deal with. There'll be some the traditional memoriams. There'll be the honorarium kind of things. Yep. Those are the 3 major business items that we're going to be dealing with. And there is a strong push to have the remote voting. And so I have a feeling that's going to be a very in-depth conversation. And if you're a brand newbie that's going to be attending this convention, just know that you need to get in line, because there's this little guy that he will run up to the mic and call the question over and over again. And so you want to get in front of him so that if you have something that you need to share and save. But I'm going to put myself out there and just say that it's really important that we listen to our membership, and it's really important to think about all of these amendments. And when you're voting, it's representing your membership that's there, because there are less than 400 people from the domestic U.S. and Western Canada attending this convention in Manila.
Wow.
And that's
Wow.
people representing almost 2/3 of all Kiwanis.
Wow. All right. Well, the convention is 3 weeks away in Manila, so get your delegation hats ready. Get your period packs packed, and get ready. But more importantly, though, yeah, very important business. But let's not lose sight of the relationships and the brotherhood and the ability to see people you haven't seen in quite some time, as well as making new friends. So let's not lose sight of that when it comes to conventions as well. All right, with that, I
need to add something, though.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
And so one of the things that I'm going to add is that when you come to convention and you bring those things, you don't know what to do with them. Don't just leave them in your hotel room and forget. We're going to have a big box at my booth in the Grand Ballroom. So if you just bring them on down, and if you want to on Friday afternoon or Saturday afternoon go to do delivery with me, you're welcome to come with. The more the merrier when we go over to the girls' orphanage that is right there in Manila to deliver these. But if you bring them, there is a mechanism to get them in the hands of the right people. And the other part of it is, Aaron, I realized that we had invited so many of our guests. We've invited all of the international trustee candidates on board to come and talk about what's going on, and we've highlighted them. There's someone we missed in the highlighting.
I wonder who that could be. Next week's show, we're gonna interview the one remaining candidate. I affectionately call her Doc Val, but we're gonna have an opportunity. I am gonna interview Doc Val next week on this very stage right here about her candidacy for international trustee, because she's right. We've highlighted many of the other candidates, and now it is time that we take advantage of our platform to highlight the last candidate for international trustee. So she will be putting on her international trustee cap next week, and maybe we'll get a guest co-host to interview with me to interview you as the international trustee.
How fun.
John.
I want to add there that she may be the last candidate that we interview, but she should be your first choice.
Oh.
Wow. 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 John, double your salary. You know what I'm saying for that one? I know. You don't get paid. Exactly. Exactly right. All right. Before we move on to some other things, let's hear from Melissa Atwell. It is our mental health moment for the week. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Melissa Atwell, here with your mental health moment. Rest isn't reward-based. You don't have to earn rest. If you're tired, you deserve a pause. When your body's tired, your mind can't function. So listen to your mind and listen to your body. Remember, take a moment for your mental health.
Thank you, Melissa, as always. And riding that coattail, Doc Val, do we have an update regarding the mental health club, Kiwanis Club, Melissa Atwell is president thereof thing, that thing?
I just get the goofy grin on my face, and that is because although we started on May 11th and we had a couple hiccups in the process, today we're completing our club, and so we are official. dues paid, roster in, bylaws in, and there are 18 members, and so 15 of them are brand new, and we've got a couple in the wings that are still waiting, but it's official.
Right on. Congrats. I need a link to sign up myself now that you've got your charter, which brings to mind this is a club that, like many virtual clubs, like the Rose Flow Club, the literacy clubs, and all of that, anybody anywhere can join and be supportive of. So check it out, and that'll be a great organization. I will probably be coming out to Vegas sometime in the next 7 to 10 days. I have some family business to take care of, and I will certainly make sure that I connect with Melissa, since I've been asked and accepted, being an advisor to the Kiwanis Club. Is that right? Or whatever my official title is?
Yeah, absolutely. Your official title will be club coach. And one of my 12 memberships is being transferred in. So I will be club coaching with you.
All right.
And
well, maybe I love the transfer idea. Since I just relinquished one membership out here, I should probably just transfer that membership.
Probably. Absolutely. You're already paid. It works. And if you're out there and you're thinking, well, how will this work? There are so many service projects. They've already done one huge one and one small one. But the service projects that they've put together already with this group, they're transferable, they're amazing, and it's almost on a line with the same model that the Sisterhood Project is doing. So I could talk about this all day, but I don't have all day. So I'm going to throw it back to you.
All right. So does that mean would that classify as one of your Val's wow moments?
That's my goofy, happy, wow moment.
So. All right. There you have it. All right, John, you know what time it is. Let's hit the intro for Aaron's really bad dad jokes of the week. Just remember the motto and saying right there, I tell dad jokes periodically. Okay, there you have it. All right, here you go. What do you call a well-balanced horse? What do you call a well-balanced horse, Doc Val? Stable, of course. Come on, what else would you call it? Stable, a well-balanced horse. I know, I'm off and running. Hey, where do polar bears keep their money? Where do polar bears keep their money?
In
a
snowbank.
In a snowbank. Thank you, John. There you go.
Very nice.
How do you make an egg roll? How do you make an egg roll? My peanut gallery here in the hotel room got it right. You
push it.
You push it. Yes, that's how you make an egg roll. That's correct. What did the triangle say to the circle? The triangle said, "You're pointless." For all you mathematicians.
That fits with your periodical table.
Exactly. That's why I picked it. That is correct. See, you catch my trend when I do some of these. Why was Cinderella so bad at soccer? Why was Cinderella so bad at soccer?
She lost one of her slippers?
No,
she kept breaking her shoes.
No, she kept running away from the ball. Come on.
Okay.
All right. Come. Where was King David's temple located? Where was King David's temple located? Well, beside his ear, of course.
Right here, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now, and I'll just, let's see. What do you call a pig that practices karate? This is the last one. What do you call a pig that practices karate? A pork chop. A pork chop. And that does it for this week's Bad Dad Joke. Fortunately, that does it before my phone overheats on purpose because I can't do any more Bad Dad Jokes. All right, that does it for this week's episode. Doc Val, final thoughts on your behalf, please.
You know, as we enter into the summer months, there are a lot of things that are changing in people's lives. And I hope that you remember to be kind and be aware that there's so much going on. With graduation for our foster youth, that means the end of having a secure home and a secure place to live. For our seniors, it's where do I go next? For our adults that normally are so busy during the winter months, all of a sudden it is what do we do? So this is a great opportunity for us Kiwanians to be able to reach out to people and say summer is a great time to get involved and do things and to support our community. And so we've kicked it off, and let's make it happen.
Absolutely. Well said. Just a quick reminder, some programming notes tomorrow from 11 until 12 on Aaron's Hour. Chris Bryan from Tidewater Community College is my guest. We kind of jump around about all the different things that TCC offers, as well as increased enrollment over the last couple of years, and we're very happy to chat about that. Of course, they are a big support of Aaron's Hour. And then from 12:30 to 1 on local Cox Cable Channel 4, the Voice of 757 TV show. My guest this week is Jamila Zimmerman. She is part of JonathanCares.org, who we had on this show previously as well. They are big supporters of those who have food deficiency obstacles, and they are out there to support them. Listen, everybody, be safe, be happy, be kind to everybody. Why? Because we are all we have. Have a great week. We'll see you next week right here on Kiwanis Connects. Thank you for watching, everybody.
All right.